More or less. Thank you, Clare Sullivan.
Brilliant, thanks Elaine, and excellent to see so many people here from so many different sections of society. I hope you're all tweeting away. I believe the hashtag is Stop the Cuts, because there are some people that aren't able to make it tonight, and actually there's a group in Scotland that are watching this live from the live streaming, so hello to everybody in Scotland tonight. Hello to Scotland. I mean, over a year and a half ago, we saw students in the UK taken to the streets in the largest numbers for over a decade. Called by the NUS and built by every college and group in the country, and boy did we force the people to listen. When we were attacked by the government and the media, we told them, this is just the beginning. And in the last year or so, students have been central to uprisings across the world. And how amazed I was when a student from Egypt was invited to make the opening speech at our NUS conference this year. This would not have happened a couple of years ago. And I also want to send solidarity to our student colleagues in Quebec, where they've been on strike and organising mass mobilisations for months now, and are now being faced with draconian laws attempting to quell their qualms. A massive round of applause for Quebec. We've exposed the hypocrisy of a government who say they can't afford education, but they can afford war. We saw this when they suddenly found billions of pounds to invade and bomb Libya. And we didn't just expose their hypocrisy, we went on to loads of demonstrations and gave confidence and kick-started the movement in this country. We gave confidence to 750,000 people to march for an alternative on the 26th of March. We supported strikes and strike demos, and we campaigned against the wars and occupations in Libya and Afghanistan, and we linked with students across the world and lots of different movements. So it's so inspiring to see on demonstrations students alongside pensioners and unionists and people from disabled people's groups, because it's when we're on these large political protests all together that we start linking up the issues. And whilst we didn't stop tuition fees, we did cause cracks in an already weak coalition government, and we created a whole new layer of people prepared to stand up and fight them. And this is why we need to continue building the broader support. The fight has to be the whole of our class against theirs. Because privatisation is happening across the board, selling off large swathes of housing and public services and healthcare and so on. And by filling the pockets of the already rich, our governments are proving that they only care about the rich. They only care about the banks and the businesses. The same here as in Greece, as in France, as in Spain. These governments who say they can't afford these things that we need, but we know they're lying. This is not about money, it's about priorities. In Greece, we heard how thousands of schools have closed, and yet their government has spent €18 billion even on warheads and missiles. So it's not about economics, it's about political priorities. Therefore, we now have a vital role in mobilising for this big TUC demonstration to further expose our governments. We need higher industrial action. If you're not in a union, do join one. And we need to find ways of encouraging people who aren't in unions to come on these demonstrations with us. Not just the public sector, but the private sector too. And we need unity. Whether you're in the Labour Party or the Green Party, whether you're from an LGBT or a library campaign, we need to link together, because it's when we do this, we're the strongest. We're for an end to all cuts, not slower cuts, not for any sector of our society. The money is there. So let's get everyone on the streets. Let's start mobilising today. I believe we're going to meet up afterwards in our areas and plan what we're going to do in our areas. Let's build in our workplaces, in our homes, in our colleges, in our communities. Let's get so many people on the streets that the government can't fail to hear us say, drop the debt, stop the cuts, fund education, not war, tax the rich, not the poor. We have to say no to cuts. Not one, not to us, not now, not ever. See you on the streets on October the 20th.